Okay, today we are going to start a new CRICUT project. We're going to work with a personal photograph to just play around with some fun things with that. Um, Hopefully my design space will load. My internet's being a little um, difficult tonight. So I'm going to open a new project and um, I'm going to walk through the upload process, but I did actually already upload the image I'm going to work with. So you'll see it right here. So I would click on Upload Image, click on Browse, go into my pictures to the file where it's stored, select the image, click on it, and it's going to give you a simple, moderately complex, or complex. Because there's a lot of detail to it and it's going to be a print then cut, I'm going to go with complex. Hit continue. I'm not going to do anything with the background on this. I'm not trying to pull all of this out. I want a complete image. So apply and continue there. And then you would select the print and cut and then hit upload. So I already have it uploaded. So I'm going to cancel back out of that. And I'm going to come back and select that image and then add it to the canvas. There we go. So my image is here now. It loaded it as a 5 by 6, whatever. I'm going to lock it so it doesn't distort. And I'm going to bring it down to 6. So now it's a 4.5 by 6, which is pretty standard. I am also going to make a square in that same size just so I can explain something else here in a minute. So I'm going to unlock that and make that 4.5 by 6. That way it's the same exact size. So I have this. Now say I wanted to cut this picture into the shape of a sloth. I can come into images and I can look for a sloth. And I want to find something that you're going to be able to tell what the shape is if it's a flat image. So I'm actually going to go to layers and find a single layer image if I can. I think I can maybe make this one work. So I'm going to add that to my canvas. And I'm going to come into contour. And I'm going to take out most everything. Except I want to keep these 3 pieces, I think. I feel like if I eliminate these 3, it's going to look really weird. Okay, so you get the idea that that's a sloth, right? So I'm going to scale it down. this fingers inside yet. It's toes. Because 4.5 is going to be my max. So I'm going to select them both. I'm going to come into a line. I'm going to center it horizontally. Then I'm going to go ahead and slice that. Which is going to give us this for our image shape. So from there, we can create an offset if we'd like, or two. I'm going to do 0.1 to start. And we can create an offset off of that offset. Maybe a little bit bigger one. I'm going to change the color on this to a green. So this would be cute for, you know, especially like your kids at the zoo or whatever. Now, this baby sloth's name that we got to hold was Sydney. So if I want to at this point, I can come in and type in the name. And I'm just going to leave this with the Cricut Sans font. That's perfectly fine for this. I may or may not get to using that box. I'm going to scale my size down on that some. And what I want to do is actually, I'm going to move this entire thing down. So when it brings up the box, it's not in the way. What I'm going to do is actually curve this text. So I'm going to come up on curve. And I'm going to fiddle with this a bit. Until I get it so it will sit over our heads. So I'm actually going to button up the letter space a bit. And I may even make it slightly smaller. I need to make that a little bit less because my N and my E are touching. And I'm going to continue with the curve. And this is how you can rotate manually, is going off any of the corners and moving this. So I'm almost there. I think I've gone slightly too far. So I actually think that is cute. So what I can do is click on Control and select my offset and my text and come down to combine, and I can weld those at this point. And that gives me a title and an image all as one. It brought that to the front because I worked on that most recently. So that would give me 3 layers of this. Now, I can go ahead and print this on paper or photo paper, and it will create it as a print then cut. If you already have your own image to use, this is where having the same size image would come in handy. And this is why I saved the slice result, because I can put this right back on here and I can align this centered. So it's going to put everything exactly back for now. And I'm going to bring this back over and just slot it in exactly where it goes for just a second, because I'm going to turn this piece into a cup. I'm going to duplicate it first, actually. So now I have one that I can still print, and that's still sized right for here. But this one, I'm going to turn into a basic cut. So now I can get rid of this whole piece again. And if I attach this, and I want to attach it, not weld it, because it'll keep the outline. Now I can go ahead and cut this from a piece of paper. And I'm gonna hide this print and cut stuff right now for a minute. If I bring this over to make it now, I can cut it and I would know exactly where to put it on my mat, if that makes sense, because I'm going to have a border cut around it. If I line it up directly in the corner, it's going to cut around it on the box, but I would also be cutting it from a slightly larger piece of paper. So I could put my corner right into my corner, and then I would know exactly where to place my photo on the mat because I could overlay this on top of it. So it would show me exactly, and then I could run the actual photograph through. If I have time, I will try and do an actual video where I do that with a picture. It's just a hack I have for if you need to know the placement of something on an image. Because otherwise you don't know. But you're going to want to cut exactly on this outer edge. Even if you just started with a piece of paper that was slightly bigger, then you would lay your picture underneath it, sandwiched. You'd be able to see where you wanted this lined up, and you'd be able to put it back in the exact same position on the mat. So that was the purpose of that piece of it. Whoops. I don't know how many offsets I have going on here at this point. So that is just something else you can do with your photos. That is not my actual offset. Okay, that's my slice result. That's why. This one's the offset. But here I could cut this in 3 layers and stack it right up into my scrapbook. So just something you can do. We could also take this slice result sloth that we had, and we could change the color on it to, let's do a paler green. And then we can go into text and drag this over. CRICUT did add like a wrap for text, but it only works in a box. So if you want to fill in positioning on text, it gets a little bit screwy, but so And I can't see my text, so I don't know where I was at. So if I wanted to try to squeeze this in, just making it a little bit smaller to start, and I wanted to write on this. I'm going to bring my style over. I'm going to select writing, and I could still use the regular Cricut sans, which would match this. So I can change this up to make it work. I'm going to actually make this 2 separate lines because that will work out better. And that gets me pretty close, but I can come in and just kind of rearrange things a little bit. And then I can, again, whoops, I can select these both. And actually, I want to make sure this is black. Okay. I can go ahead and attach this. So what it's going to do once it's attached is it's going to write this out and then it's going to cut around the edge. So just something else you can do if you wanted like matching pieces. So that is it for this little bit of working with a personal picture. You can also type your text and turn it into a complete circle if your text is long enough, where you could make a frame to go in a page, things like that. The sky is the limit if you start playing with things. So that is going to be it for now for this little piece. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Project not saved. I am struggling today. So that is it. That time it's saved. I'm going to see what else I can think up to show you guys. But if anybody has any suggestions or something they'd like to see, please let me know because I have a wealth of knowledge of this stuff after working with Cricut since the very first Cricut Personal came out, and I've kind of rolled with a lot of the changes along the way. So if there's a particular skill you'd like to learn, just let me know in the comments below and I can see what I can do for you. So that is it. Thanks for watching.